Hey guys, welcome to Planning with Crystal. So today's unboxing is Book Box Club. This is for February 2021. If you're new to Book Box Club, it is a monthly book subscription based in the UK and it always features a young adult book. It's $28.99 for a month-to-month subscription. That's what I'm signed up to, but you can pay a lot less if you sign up to a longer period of time. It's always full of lots of bookish goodies. The book is always signed and there's always a chance to go online and go to an online book club with the author of the book and everyone else who's signed up to the subscription. So it's quite a fun little box. You can also just get the book and the invitation to the book club without all the goodies. That's obviously a lot cheaper. So there's lots of different options if you are thinking of signing up to this one. I'll put a link under the video with all that information. So without further ado, let's get into this month's box. So this month's box theme is Sisters of the Coven. There's always a theme with these boxes and that's this month's. We always get a little invitation to the book club, which always has the name written on by hand on the front. It says open me last because it will mention the name and the author of the book. So to kind of keep that a surprise from you until you open it, that's why they ask you to open it last. This is this month's book. Look how thick it is. It looks like quite a thick read. Last month's book was a super thick read and I'll tell you my thoughts on that book in a little while. It was a really long book. So yeah, it looks like we've got another huge book to read through this month. So once I've pulled the book out, and I'll open the book last, you can just see we've got all this shredded paper. So I'm going to try not to sort of spoil the surprise too much and just like pull the things out one at a time. Ooh, okay, so a few things are falling out. So we seem to have got a little ring binder that says on the front, Hubble, Bubble, Toil and Trouble, which goes with that witchy theme. And it's got rings inside, so it's like a little ring binder. Let's see what it tells us about this. Hubble Bubble recipe folder with artwork by Elf Paper Co. Looking for an exquisitely witchy file to store your spells, recipes, book club unboxing cards in? Look no further. This exclusive ring binder is a must-have for all our super organised supernatural sisters. And it links the Etsy shop. So it looks like that's what it's for. You can put all of your book club box cards in there or whatever you want really that's in this sort of size. The next thing I see are some super cute little earrings. So these are Elphaba inspired earrings from Wicked, which is a show I saw in the West End, kind of about the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz. So these are by Sapphire Frills and it says, for the first time I feel wicked. And you can just see the green and black with some little bits of gold on here. Elphaba earrings by Sapphire Frills, devilishly wicked witch or deeply misunderstood gravity-defying sorceress. Wear these stunning green studs in celebration of Oz's most enigmatic havoc wrecker. So they're pretty cute. Then we have got some Witch's Brew coffee, which smells really, really good. Really, well, coffee-like. Witch's Brew coffee by Cafe Tramone. Pour yourself a potent potion of pure caffeinated magic. As we say, a cauldron of coffee a day keeps the bad omens away. And then there's also a discount code for 10% off your next coffee order with this brand. So it is a great box to kind of discover other kind of small businesses and stuff. So I like that about it. Look at this, we've got a wooden spoon. This is all a little bit random. It says, wonderfully witchy wooden spoon by Book Box Club. Stir up some trouble or a batch of delicious shortbread biscuits with this cute cauldron themed wooden spoon. And it's just plain elsewhere. Well, I always use them when I'm baking or cooking or what have you, so it'll definitely get some use, and that's a cute little design on the end. And then we've got some kind of tarot cards. It says the full tarot deck features 78 cards and expert diviners can predict many fortunes. Here at Book Club Box we like to keep it simple, so we've selected 5 of our favourite tarot cards for you to perform a mini reading. Shuffle the deck, think of a question, channel your inner fortune teller and select 2 cards at random. Our tiny tarot will tell you the answer you need to know. And on the back the cards look like this. And these are the cards on the front. They obviously all break apart and it tells you on here what the cards mean. Cute. Then we've also got a card for our new folder. that says lavender shortbread biscuits, crack out your cauldrons and magic up some tasty treats. And then on the back it tells you how to make those biscuits. And this will of course fit in our new folder. It says lavender shortbread recipe by Bookbox Club. Compete for the accolade of Star Baker of the Coven and magic up a delicious batch of reading snacks with this sumptuous spell. The other thing I'm a little bit disappointed with receiving a recipe is usually we get like a sweet treat, like we had a chocolate key once month. Last month we had a nice kind of chocolate, it was like a milk-free chocolate bar, which was really nice. Whereas this month we don't seem to have that. Instead we've just got a recipe which relies on me actually having to go make something, so not quite as good in my opinion. Then we've got an Uncorrected Sampler. This is Unchosen by Catherine Blair, and the release date on this is the 4th of March. It'll retail at £12.99, and this is just a little sampler. Then there's also a leaflet for Tales by Mail. So this is book subscription and podcast for adventurous readers aged 8 to 12 and people who like to read that sort of genre of book, plus you get treats and stuff. And me and my 8-year-old actually unboxed this month. We decided to sign up to this subscription for him because he likes looking at the book subscriptions I get. So if you've not already watched that, I will put a card here and you can go and check out what we found in that box. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get into this month's book and have a look what they've sent us. So we always get this like stretchy silver string stuff, which I always keep and use for gifts and stuff. And then the nice funky paper, which I sometimes reuse if I don't destroy it too much going into it. Ooh, okay. We've actually got 2 books this month, so that's quite exciting. So we have got All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. And of course it comes with a little signed bookplate inside. The cards hold the truth, be careful what you ask. Maeve Chambers doesn't have any special gifts. That is, until she finds a dusty old pack of tarot cards and starts giving uncannily accurate readings to everyone around her. But when she reads for her ex-best friend Lily, a strange card appears in the deck and everything goes wrong. Lily doesn't come to school the next day, or the next, and Maeve knows she's been taken somewhere the police will never find her. Only the cards and something older, something even more powerful, can bring her back. And it says here on the card, in the depths of a dusty cupboard, school misfit Maeve discovers a deck of tarot cards and finds she has a talent for predicting her classmates' fortunes. But when her former best friend disappears and a strange, frightening card appears in the deck, Maeve begins to realise how dangerous it is to play with magic. And then the other book is We Played with Fire by Catherine Barter. The spirits talking fox sisters await you. It says, how nice it would be to make them doubt themselves for once, make them see that there were more things in the world than what they were capable of explaining. Maggie has been accused of a terrible crime, but only her younger sister Kate believes her version of events. Now banished to a lonely freezing house in upstate New York, Maggie and Kate are bored and restless. They begin to make mischief in the night to startle their parents, but the house seems to be waking up, and whatever haunts it has a message for the sisters. Maggie sees her chance to finally be believed, but not all ghosts want to play fair. And this also has a little signed bookplate in there. It says here, the Fox sisters have some otherworldly problems when their seance hosting parties take a sinister turn. What started out as a ruse to trick their gullible parents soon transforms into something unexpectedly paranormal and out of their control. Can they claim the fame they crave and keep their shadowy visitors at bay? Let's open our little invitation. So it looks like we've got a joint book club meeting with Catherine Barter and Caroline O'Donoghue. So we get to meet both of the authors, talk about both of the books, and that's going to be on the 13th of May. So obviously that's quite a little bit of time in the future, but it gives us plenty of time to read those 2 books. I tend to read them quite quickly after they arrive anyway, because I'm always reading something. I'll give you a quick recap of this month's box, and then if you want to stay with me, I will tell you what I thought of last month's book. We've got the wooden spoon, we've got the recipe and the little recipe folder, we've got the little tarot cards, the cute little earrings, which are one of my favourite items in here. We've got the Witch's Brew coffee, an uncorrected sampler of a new book, and 2 books to read this month. So I like the fact there's 2 books, that's pretty cool. So let me grab last month's book and we will talk about that. Okay, so the January 2021 Book Box Club book was The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick, and I will link this book and also this month's books under the video. If you see any and think I need to buy that book, I'll put links underneath. So what did I think of this book? Well, it's a super thick book. It has got 634 pages. It also has a little bit of an excerpt at the back of the next book in the trilogy because it's a trilogy. It's also got some extras and stuff in there. It also has a glossary which explains a lot of the words in here because they're not the sort of words that you would just know. Because it is set in the past and there's a lot of themes in there that you just wouldn't know this stuff generally unless you really know a lot about this topic. Seeing a glossary in a book almost put me off a little bit because I know it sounds like a bit lazy, but I don't necessarily want to have to do a massive amount of research when I'm reading. And there were a lot of words in here that weren't contained at the back of the book that I didn't actually know because they're like oldie worldy kind of words and stuff. So there was that about it. But actually it was quite gripping. I started reading it and was struggling to put it down. There were little bits where I was really with it, really reading, really couldn't put it down. And there were other bits where it wasn't quite as fast paced. So it was a little up and down, but it was a very good book overall. Essentially, it is about a young girl who has kind of grown up in a bit of a gang, breaking the law, that kind of thing. And she manages to kind of escape from this gang who don't particularly treat her or her brother and sister that well. But when she escapes, she decides she's going to try and impersonate somebody who is noble and sort of try and join this noble house that's got some money and things like that. So the sort of start of it, and I'm obviously not kind of giving any spoilers or anything away, but the start of it is very much about how she tries to join this family and all of the kind of things that go around with that. The Mask of Mirrors is all about this mask that she gets and the fact that she can almost create her own mask, like makeup type mask, so that she can look like a noble woman, but she can also revert back to what she normally looks like. So she can kind of almost has 2 faces in that way, but it is just makeup. It's like a lot of us. I'm not wearing any makeup today, but other days I might look very different when I have got makeup on, so it's not that different from real life. But there's a lot of kind of magic and things that come into it that I wasn't expecting as much. So it was almost like I was reading one book all about this girl joining families and wanting to kind of become noble and fool people a little bit about her background and the way she was living. And then there's like a whole host of magic and stuff coming in and almost other worlds, and it was like almost like I was reading a completely different book, but it all did come together. And like I said, it was fast-paced in some parts, slow-paced in other parts, but it does kind of leave you wanting to read the next book in the series. Like I said, it is a trilogy. I mean, I think I had a bit of a preconception. I was like, 600 odd pages and it's a trilogy, that's quite a commitment. But actually it is quite a good book. It is pretty well written. It just, there's a lot to it. And this isn't the sort of genre that I would normally choose to read. It is quite fantasy based, which isn't really my bag, but actually I did really enjoy it. So it is a really good book. I can recommend it, especially if fantasy is your sort of genre. I kind of want a mask like this now. So that was my thoughts on that book. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up. It lets me know you're enjoying the content I'm producing. Let me know in the comments underneath what you think of this month's Book Box Club. Like I said, it seems a little random to me. I don't know if that's just me, but that's my thoughts on the box. Obviously I always give you my honest opinion, and it just doesn't really seem to kind of come together in the same way. I might be wrong, but that, like I said, that's just my opinion. But I do appreciate the fact that there are 2 books in here, so that kind of does a lot to bring it back in line and make it more enjoyable for me. I will also be unboxing Illumicrate. I've managed to sign up to their book subscription as well, similar to Book Box Club in that they do a lot of bookish goodies as well, so you might want to subscribe so that you don't miss when that video goes up. So I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up. It lets me know you're enjoying the content I'm producing, and I would love it if you'd subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified when my next video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.